So hi and welcome to another Tech Tuesday. Today, I'm excited to bring to you the review for the Logitech G Pro wireless mouse. Now this mouse is just out on the market. It's probably been out about a month and a half. It comes in at £129 here, or 130 US dollars. It's Logitech's latest wireless mouse in their pro range esports gaming gear. If you're not familiar with my Tech Tuesdays, what I do is I go through like pros and cons. I won't go through the full technical spec. You can read that up on a website, but I'm going to give you my opinion and what I think of the mouse. I'm going to go through some jitter tests. I'm going to show you the force that you need to press the mouse button. We're going to go into some really good detail here on what this mouse is capable of, so stick around because you don't want to miss some of this. If you want to look at some more of the budget range gaming gear, I also do a Thrift Thursday. I'll put a link in the description, and that goes to more of the low end kind of gaming stuff. If you haven't got the money to spend like £129 on this, which is damn expensive, probably one of the top of the line mice at the minute, along with the Hyperflux. So let's get the first gremlin out of the way. Can you feel latency difference between a wireless mouse and a wired mouse? Well, going back 2 years ago, yes, no problem. You could definitely tell the difference. Today's world though, with the G305, the Hyperflux, Dark Core, 903, and all these new kind of wireless technologies, Logitech specifically the Lightning speed, which this has, it's very, very difficult to tell. In fact, unless you're a proper esports pro, I'm not sure you even could tell. I certainly can't, and I've used a lot of mice. So let's get it started here with one of the tests where you're doing some general mice tests or line tests. And what you can see here was I was using 1000 pull rate. I've used 400 DPI, 800 DPI, and 1600 DPI. I've tested on the Hyperflux from Razer here cloth mat, and also on the hard version. And the Logitech G Pro wireless here performed outstandingly good on all these tests. I could not believe how good this mouse was on 400 DPI on a cloth surface. It's really making me consider whether I want to change to a cloth surface. If you've known me and watched me stream, I use a hard mat, mainly because of the cloth ones collecting a lot of dirt, and I've got a lot of pets, got 5 cats. But also because I've enjoyed the hard surface. I was originally a cloth person, and the G Pro wireless here might put me back. In fact, I could not get to sleep thinking about how good, which is very sad. I know you're probably like, oh my days, but how good this G Pro wireless performed with this Hero sensor on the cloth surface. It was amazing. And you can tell that in these statistics here. The only anomaly that was here was on the hard surface, and when I was doing some press and lift tests, some lift tests, and you can see here over a period of time, eventually it started to wander. This is quite common anyway, but on the cloth surface, this didn't even happen. So good job here, Logitech. This is a nice sensor. So let's go on to the shape of the mouse here. So I've reviewed the Logitech G305. Take a look in the description for the link. And I was impressed with that. I did like that mouse. It's certainly a good mouse to look at if you're looking around the $50, 50 UK pounds. I'd definitely pick it up. I'm using that as a daily runner and for some gaming when I'm mobile. But the G Pro wireless here has a totally different shape. And one of the first things that I noticed wasn't necessarily the shape, because the shape is really good and I do like the shape, but was how smooth it was. It's like a slippery fish. I really do have trouble keeping hold of it. I'm generally a mouse lifter, so I will lift the mouse, and I find that although it doesn't slip out my hand, I do have to grip it a little bit tighter. And this is because it doesn't have too much of a curved side like the 305, which we'll compare it to here. If you don't want me to do a comparison between the 305 and this G Pro wireless, then let me know in the comments. If you give me 30 likes on this video, I'll go ahead and do that and do a comparison video. It doesn't have any rubber on the sides. It's full plastic. It's got this, although it's a nice touch, it's a very, very smooth plastic. And this really surprised me because this is meant to be developed by the pros, and I thought they'd have some kind of texture, and there isn't. So something to bear in mind, that this is probably what's putting me off keeping this mouse, even though the sensor is amazing, is because I do struggle with the grippiness of it, but I do like the shape of it. The shape is really nice. It's got a nice curved back. It's very symmetrical. It's an ambidextrous mouse, as you can see here. It's got buttons on the left and on the right. You can blank play off both of these buttons. What's not to love about the shape? Just that damn smooth surface, man. So you're asking me, Rob, how many notches does this scroll wheel have? Well, for a full rotation, you're going to be excited for this, it's 24 notches to do a full rotation on the mouse. It's not like the G903 or the 502 where you can also take away the notches on the scroll wheel and free spin it. This has one setting and it's notched, but the notches on this are quite light, and I do actually like this scroll wheel. So let's get into the weight of the mouse, because that's one of the key features of this mouse. This is one of the lightest wireless gaming mice out there. In fact, it could be the lightest wireless gaming mouse out there. I do want to see if I can make it a little bit lighter. We'll see about that. I might chop a few bits off, but I'm not sure I'm going to. If you give me 100 likes, I'll cut the mouse up and we'll try and get it even lighter and get some more weight off it. But it's going to have to be worth it, because this is one hell of an expensive mouse. So the mouse here, fully loaded. Everything on it, including the dongle in the back and the button, comes in at 82 grams. So that's pretty good. You take the dongle out, it comes in at 80 grams. If you take the dongle and the button off, you get it down to 77 grams. And you could get away with the button not being on the base of it, because it doesn't really add anything. It covers up the base of the mouse where you put the dongle when you're traveling, which is good. And it also means you can put in the wireless power play charging button if you've got the power play charging mat. Other than that, you don't really need it, so you could save yourself 3 grams here. If you remove the side buttons, you can get it down to 76 grams. But to be fair, why would you take the side buttons off? So the lightest I could get this mouse was 76 grams, which is not bad. That's pretty damn light, to be fair, given this has got an integral battery as well. It's not like the 305 where you can put an AA battery in it. It got a built-in lithium battery. Charge time on this battery was very good. It takes about 2 hours to charge it fully using the USB cable, which was impressive. You can find out how much power you've got in the Logitech software. I'm not going to go through that because a lot of people have shown the Logitech software, and it's pretty standard really across the mice. If you want me to do a video independently of that, let me know in the comments and I will. But I had no issue running this mouse for 2 weeks at least without charging it with the Rgb lighting on. So that was pretty nice, because this new Hero's got a 10 times more efficient sensor for power. And to be fair, maybe. The Rgb lighting on this is only on the logo on the rear, but to be fair, that doesn't really bother me. If you've got a gaming setup, you might be more interested in that. If you use the Logitech's Rgb lighting, they do this generally on all their mice, so it's kind of the same at the moment. There's no Rgb light on the scroll wheel or on the buttons themselves. As I said, you get a rubber-coated 2-meter USB cable. You also get an attachment block so you can plug in the USB dongle to bring it closer to the mouse to reduce the latency even further. To give you an idea of the latency, I've used the human benchmark here that Rocket Jump Ninja uses, so you can give a bit of a comparison between me and him. So the latency test here came in an average of 172 milliseconds, which is probably the fastest one I've tried. They're all around 170 to 180. You can see here they've got 162 as the last click, so it's possible to bring it even further down. So that was a nice responsive rate here. There certainly wasn't much latency using this application. So getting into the dimensions here of the mouse, the length of it is 125.7 millimeters. These are approximate measurements, but gives you a good idea. The mouse rear width comes in at 63.1 millimeters. The middle rear width comes in at 60.4 millimeters, so it's slightly tapering in here, but like I said, it's very similar. And the front comes in at 61.6 millimeters. So again, the mouse is quite evenly sized. It's a little bit narrow in the middle to give you a little bit more of a grip. It would have been nice, as I've said, to have a slightly more curve to it for me, so you can handle it with this slippery fish surface. Get onto the height here. The rear of the mouse is 35.5 millimeters. The mid is 39.1 millimeters, and the front is 23.7 millimeters high. So grip wise, this to me fits all grips. I don't think there's any specific grip it's not going to fit here. It's ambidextrous as well. It's a medium mouse. You know, it's a nice shape. It fits perfectly in my hand, this mouse. It's a little bit bigger than the 305, but it's still a little bit smaller than most of the mice out there, like the 903, I would say, although that's got slightly more tapered inside. The Razer Hyperflux, and definitely thinner than the Dark Core from Corsair. So moving on here to the pressure it requires to push down the buttons. This is something I've added to this. Hope you're enjoying this. So using the force gauge here, I put all these statistics on my beardybob.com website. That's just coming online. I haven't quite finished it yet at all, so keep your eye out, and all these stats will be able to be there to compare for all the other mice that I've done as well. But starting here, we started at the front of the left mouse button here, and the first press came in at 44 grams. Second press 45 grams. And third press was 54 grams. So it's around, let's say 50 grams would be an average here on this one to press the left mouse button, which it's not bad. It feels nice. It's a nice solid click on this mouse. The middle here came in at the first one at 78, second one at 62 grams, and third one at 72 grams. And that gave us an average of around 68 grams, something like that. Moving on to the rear here, and this is where you see quite a difference in the pressure required to push the button, as you would expect. And here on the rear, the first one came in at 278 grams, second one was 290 grams, and the third one was a whopping 304 grams. So an average here would be around 290 grams to press the rear of the button, which is quite a lot of force. Not the ideal place if your finger's there to press it, to be fair. Moving on to the side buttons here, the first press was 84 grams, second press was 97 grams, and the third press was 86 grams, which gives us an average of around 90 grams on the side button, which surprised me. These came in at quite a hard press, but they are quite a short press. And this is one of the things that I like about this mouse, is how short the side button press is. You can certainly be very quick with the side press, which is good. So let's listen to what the mouse clicks sound like. One of the neat things that I saw about this mouse is on the feet, there is a little cutout, so you can easily remove them. You can push a screwdriver in there and ping off the little feet, little skillets, or skates, whatever you want to call them. And that was good to see that you could take out the feet really easily. So obviously you can buy spare feet for this. If you've noticed, this has a large front, D-shaped pad, and 3 rears. And it's nice to see the back rear is a little bit larger here. And this thing moves like a dream on a mat. They are perfect. There's no drag. They're probably about the right size, to be fair. I was quite impressed with how well these feet performed. So let's see what's in the box.
got history, yeah. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all the pain. Go look in the mirror, say, hey, I'm sorry for all the pain. I'm sorry for all.
So that's it for this video. Thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed these tests. I've certainly enjoyed this mouse. This is great. I'm going to put some links in the description for you. And until the next one, thanks. Don't forget to like and subscribe, and I'll see you all again. Bye bye.